Hello, this is Reverend Denise Roberge from One Mind Spiritual Services, and I'm happy to be with you this evening. Welcome. It might be daytime when you see this, but it's evening for me, and it's been a long weekend, but it's been a very fruitful one. Today, what's on my mind is the empathic experience I had as a result of the presidential election. I'm going to come right out with my feelings about the whole thing right up front so you know where I'm coming from. 4 years ago when President Trump was elected, it felt like the end of the world. I was horrified, I was depressed, I was sad, I had all kinds of feelings. I was angry, beside myself. I had to do a lot of work over a period of months, maybe a year, I don't even remember how long, to get to the point where I could be in faith about the fact that he was our president. So for the past 4 years, I continually work at being at peace and being resilient and not focusing too heavily on the news and keeping my vibration high and not reacting when I see things that are not in my energy field. So when I would see divisiveness, hatred, bigotry, anger from the political arena, let's say in general, as well as at times from the president in particular, I would say, got my shield up, I'm fine, my vibration is high, I'm okay, we're okay. We're going through this collective shift, and there's going to be pain, and there's going to be difficulty. There will be all types of reactions and responses from everyone, and I don't have to buy into any of them. I have to be in my own integrity, own my own reactions and responses, feel whatever I have to feel, transmute, release, let go, let God, let source. So this has been an ongoing healing for me. And I've done very well in the last, especially the last maybe 2 years. I haven't really let a lot of that stuff in. Not much. Maybe I've dipped occasionally, especially when my vibration was low, or I was tired, or I was hungry, or I had any of, when I dipped down a little bit, sometimes some of that got in, and I would react, and I go, oh boy, here I am again, got to do the work again. And I would do the work, but I was able to do it pretty quickly. I transmuted stuff fairly quickly. So on Tuesday, we had the election, and of course we didn't get the results. And on Wednesday, I started kind of frequently checking the results because I don't have cable TV. I only have streaming services, so I don't put the news on. I don't watch the news. I don't turn on the news and watch it. So periodically I would check Google, election results and follow it. Well, by Thursday, I was checking the results constantly. Every spare minute I had, I was checking to see who was the president, how close, the Democrats were getting, and what was going on, and what was Trump saying, and what were his advisors saying. And I completely slipped back into where I was at 4 years ago, and eating this stuff up and feeling it in my body, and I was miserable, and I couldn't stop. I was transfixed. I wanted to know. I was desperate to know what was going to happen, who was going to be the next president. I recognized that I was in a space like that. And I did some work. I was kind of intermittently able to find peaceful moments in between, but overall my headspace was, I can't explain it, was like driven. I was obsessively needing to know what was going to happen, what was going to happen, what was going to happen. And that's how I was before 4 years ago. So I was just in a state, as an empath, it was something for some reason I was not able to deflect. And that happens to us. We have to forgive ourselves. We're humans, and we go back to our default modes, our survival modes. It was almost like I was watching to see if we were going to be safe or not. That's how it felt. Like, are we going to be safe? Am I going to be safe? Are we going to be okay? Because in that moment, in those moments, I felt like we were not going to be okay if Trump got in. We were not going to be okay, even though I survived 4 years. I went back into fear. I went back into this fear, and it wasn't fun. So we live and learn. So I somehow got through the next couple of days, not in a good state of mind. I wasn't happy. I was edgy. I lacked focus. I did some cooking, and I did some house stuff, and I did what I had to do. I was able to function. It wasn't a non-functional state of being, but inside I was twisted up, and feeling something I wasn't really naming. I wasn't able to really name, except that it just didn't feel safe and it didn't feel good. So Saturday, when the announcement came that Biden was the projected winner, there was like an intellectual part of me that was split off from my emotions that went, great, oh, thank God. I was happy. I was, if people said, hey, he won, I'm like, yeah, he won, great. And then I was watching videos of people dancing in the streets and people singing and people joyous. And I was wondering why I wasn't feeling joyous. I was waiting for this moment for 4 years, and I wasn't feeling joyous. I was happy. I was pleased. I wasn't unhappy about it, because I really felt that was what I was hoping for. The voters elected in the man that I hoped would get in. And well, why wasn't I happy? I was watching all these people on video, on Facebook, calling me on the phone, texting, going, yay, we did it. The country's going to be okay. We're saved. We're going to be okay. Still wasn't feeling safe. I didn't want to admit it, though. I didn't want to talk about it, because I felt like, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I got what I wanted, and I'm not able to respond in a happy way, in a grateful way or anything. So I was miserable. Today, right now is Sunday evening at 7:45 or something like that. So I was in a mood, and it lasted all day yesterday and into the night, and I slept fitfully last night, and I woke up this morning feeling not happy again, feeling miserable really. And then I took a nap, and I got a new recliner today, and I was so excited. I was so happy to have the recliner. So I said, I'm going to take a nap in my new recliner. Well, I don't know if this is a magical recliner, or I was just ready to let go, but something transpired while I was sleeping. Well, not really sleeping, but resting. I got out of that recliner, and I was like, I know what happened. I knew what happened. I think my guides gave me a little lesson, or talked to me, or gave me a vibrational uplift, or a combination of all of that, because I felt better, and I suddenly knew what had happened to me. And I want to share this with you, because I think it might be, important for some of you to understand how transmuting works in real life and what it looks like in real life. What happened was, I noted a little disturbance when I saw how close some of the states were. Like, they were razor sharp. The edges were so close. In some of the states it was minuscule. The race was like neck and neck. And I noted a little disturbance when I saw that. I was like, wow, this is just, I mean, it would have been just as easy for Trump to win as it was for Biden to win, because the differences were, Biden got 49.5% and Trump got 48.6%, in at a given moment in any state, counts. So I was like, wow, something about the fact that it was so close in a lot of states was troublesome, but I didn't stop to take the time to ask for help. My mistake, I own it, because usually if I'm in that kind of a state, I breathe, I sit and I breathe, I get into my body, I connect with my guides, I listen to or listen to very soothing, calming, healing music, and I just get myself into another dimensional state. I start to seek the fourth dimensions to take me to the fifth dimension, where I can gain clarity. And then the clarity usually comes fairly quickly, and then I'm over it, and then I move on with my day. Well, I wasn't able to do that. So what I realized, and this is a big aha moment for me as an empath and as a human being and as a person very seriously on an ascension path, on a personal growth path, that I was feeling incredibly sad for all the Trump supporters. Now, many of you will hear this and say, why are you feeling sorry for them? They're dumb, they're ridiculous, they're deplorables, and I understand those feelings. I really do, and I do not judge you for those feelings. I do not judge them because I've had them. I've had those feelings. I can't criticize anyone else anything because I don't want to judge. Judgment is a very low vibrational place to be, and I try not to be in judgment. So, but I have been in judgment, so I understand. And who am I to say what anyone else is supposed to think or believe, or how anyone else is supposed to act, or who they're supposed to vote for? That is none of my business. The only place I have any power is within my own self, in my own energy field, in my thoughts, in my heart, in my aura. I can direct my own energy and make my own choices about me. That's all I can really affect. That's how I can affect any change in my life. And hopefully anyway, I'll go back into that later. I feel very, very troubled and sad for the people who are freaked out right now that Donald Trump did not get into office. I realize that this is a big one, big realization. I have such compassion for them, because I suffered the same way that they are now 4 years ago. I was in that same frame of mind 4 years ago as the Trump supporters are today. I have people I love dearly that are Trump supporters, people in my family, people in my circle, my network, and the people I love are hurting. And that's where my empathic heart comes in, and right now I'm welling up with tears because this is really true. This is the truth for me right now. I don't want anyone to suffer the way I did 4 years ago. So what that brought me to was the conclusion that I have to love. I have to move on. I have to let go. I have to allow myself to be free of everyone else's feelings and free of every other person's opinions. I have to be in total acceptance of what is in order to be peaceful. And secondarily, I am helping to realize that I am, maybe not secondarily, equally, I realize that what I'm doing is running the sadness and the fear of the Donald Trump supporters through my body in order to release it to the universe. So there are many dimensional levels to this experience that I had this weekend. And I'm so glad I popped out of it in time to make this video this evening, because this might be helpful to you, I hope, but even if it isn't, it's helpful to me. To go on record as saying, from this day forward, I am going to listen to my feelings a little sooner and try to not to suffer for 2 or 3 days anymore, and get that, you know, that the time from the confusion to the clarity, let's shorten that gap a little bit, Denise. And, I've just learned so much this weekend, and I still love myself, and I still would rather be an empath than be whatever the opposite is. And I don't even really want to talk about what that is, but because that would be a judgment. But I get to feel. What a blessing I get to feel. And another blessing, I get to continue to move on, ask for help, ask my guides what's going on, what do I need to do next, give me some clarity, help me out here. And they do. And I process through this stuff. Now for me, doing it in a weekend isn't so bad. Before I was where I'm at now, say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, something like this could have knocked me out for weeks, for days, weeks, or months. I would get depressed. I was chronically depressed for years, chronically, and I often didn't even know what caused it. But, in any case, thank God, that's the gift of being an empowered empath, is having your feelings and suffering sometimes and feeling so deeply and being confused and not sure what the answer is and not sure what the next right step is. But when we just keep on moving, we get the guidance, because just as we are empathic with people, we are equally as open to our divinity and to our guidance systems and to our personal guides and wherever we get our intuitive information. So what a blessing. I don't have to walk around this earth mad at anybody. I don't have to put anybody down. I don't have to put sarcastic comments up on Facebook, even though I'm getting some of those. People are blasting the Democrats right now, blasting Joe Biden and being angry. And you know what? As an empowered empath, I don't have to take it in. I can say, that's where they're at right now. That's the best they can do right now. That's the dimension they live in. That's the energy they're feeling. Those are the emotions they are running, and they're entitled as human beings to feel and experience and express in any way that they feel is true for them. My truth isn't everyone's truth. Who am I to tell people who to vote for, or who I think is right or wrong, or what I think is right or wrong? As an ascending person, it's most helpful, in my opinion, for me to run compassion and to emanate love and to be not forgiving, because that has an element of judgment to it. Forgiveness has an element. I don't have anything to forgive. I don't have to forgive Donald Trump, because he hasn't done anything wrong, because he's been living in his truth. I can have opinions. I have them too, let me tell you. Ask me sometime, one-on-one, I'll tell you. I have loads of opinions, and that's okay. I can have my opinions. Those are mine. But do I want to use them as weapons? Do I want to use my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts, my opinions as a weapon to hurt someone else? I really don't. I don't want anyone to suffer the way that I have suffered in my lifetime. So because I don't enjoy receiving negativity, I have to try not to emanate negativity. It's only right. It's right. It's within my value system that I treat others the way I want to be treated, even when it's hard. And believe me, it is hard to have family members spewing, people that I adore and love and would never let go of, would never say, I don't love you, get out of my life because of political opinions. I mean, it's inconceivable for me to let go of any single member of my family or my closest friends or whatever, just because of politics. I can't do that. I won't do that. I haven't done that. But when, for example, just a little while ago, I was scrolling Facebook for a little bit, and a family member posted a really angry, really angry and judgmental post about the Democrats. And I was able to, first of all, scroll past it very quickly and not dwell on it. And second of all, to say, oh, he is hurting. I know that pain. I was in that pain 4 years ago. I know that pain. Oh, and I sent him light and love. And I said some prayer. I said a prayer for him. And I got in my heart and I went, I love him so much. And I just recognized all the, and named all the things that I love about him. And got back in, into, I'm okay. I'm okay with him. It's all right. And so this is what I choose to do, to keep myself in peace and to live what I believe. I believe in being kind. I believe in being non-judgmental. I believe in emanating love in any and all situations to the best of my ability. Being human, my ability level goes up and down. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. Do I get out of center sometimes? Yeah, I do. I'm human. And the thing is, I don't even have to forgive myself, because that would be like saying to myself, I forgive you for being human, Denise. No, I'm human. I'm okay. I am okay the way I am. And if I recognize something that feels out of alignment, I get to choose to go back into alignment. The choice is mine. I can remain in something less than alignment, or I can work my way towards becoming into alignment. There is no good and bad. There is no right and wrong. There is only, with oneself, alignment and misalignment. That's all there is. So if I'm in misalignment, I'm not going to say, oh, you're bad, and pound myself on the head like I did for many years and say, oh, you're so bad, you're so wrong. I used to berate myself. No more. No. I want to love myself as much as I love everybody else. So I firmly believe that my destiny is to live what I believe to be true. And I believe in love. I believe in allowing every single being to run their energy, their opinions, their feelings the way they need to, just like I have done and continue to do. I wish all the same for other people that I wish for myself. And I can choose to get the hell off Facebook. I can choose to say to people, you know what? Politics is really hard for me. So can we just not talk about that? I can speak up. I can respect my own boundaries. I can respect myself enough to say, in this situation, how can I keep my peace? How can I remain in a spirit of kindness, compassion, love? What do I have to do that? And sometimes a boundary is helpful and is what is called for. So, and if someone attacks me personally, I can defend myself if I want to. I can say, oh, here's where you're making a mistake, sir, ma'am, whoever. I think you're misunderstanding me. Would you like to hear how I really feel? And if they say, and they get mad again, I just go, okay, well, you know what? Let's agree to disagree and we'll move on. Agree to disagree and move on. Gee, I'm sorry you feel that way. Good luck with that. And move on. I learned that in Al-Anon. Oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. And move on. Let it go. Oh, being an emotional empath is not easy. It's not easy, but it is so worth it. For these aha moments, like, now I know why I was sad. It wasn't about me being mentally ill. It wasn't about me having a breakdown. It wasn't about me doing something wrong. It wasn't about me, being less than or unworthy or any of that. Like I used to think years ago, I thought I was just defective. That's why I had these sad times, these depressed times, these anxious times, these ups and downs. And I thought I was defective. No, I'm not defective. I am great. whether I'm feeling, however I'm feeling, I'm all right, I'm good. I choose to love myself. And I choose to also direct that love toward as many as I possibly can, and including the people that disagree with me. That being said, I will not allow myself to be bullied. I won't be bullied. And sometimes I have to build a boundary. And that's okay too, because keeping myself safe and peaceful is number one. I have to take care of myself, and I own whatever I attract. So if I'm attracting, which seldom happens, I mean, it really almost never happens anymore. But if someone were to come up to me and call me a snowflake, what the hell is wrong with you? Don't you see what's going on in the Democratic Party? How can you be a Democrat? And because they're, you know, Biden and his family are a bunch of gangsters and blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. Now, people, it has rarely happened that's people that says things like that to me, like, how can you do what you're doing? You know, they're judging me. And I've been in, you know, in a cool moment when when I know that I'm an ascending being and I know that I'm okay, I can say, you know what? You're entitled to how you feel, and I'm entitled to how I feel, and I choose to end this conversation. And anyway, I'm not attacking. Saying I need to end this conversation is not an attack. It's not an insult. It's not belittling. And it's just keeping the peace, keeping the peace. So I'm going to keep this relatively short, but I thought I would share that experience with you and see if any of that resonates. Think about the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you. And think about the fact that Trump supporters are suffering like we did, like the non-Trump supporters did 4 years ago. We're all the same. We're all one in so many ways. So let's be the light workers that we are. Let's be the loving empaths that we are. Let's be the take the spiritual high ground whenever we're able and say, when someone's angry, they're suffering. When someone's being sarcastic and rude, they're really suffering. Let's find the compassion for their suffering as opposed to reacting to what they're saying as if it were a personal attack. Because most of the time, no, I'm going to go so far as to say all the time, when people are dispersing or projecting negativity, anger, frustration, hostility, divisiveness, it's all a call for love. They're feeling unloved. They're feeling unsafe. Their old traumas are being triggered, just like we have had those experiences. They do too. We're all the same. So let's treat each other with as much love as we can. Let's love those Trump supporters. Let's love Donald Trump. I'm not talking about a heart, human-based love. I'm talking about just wishing everyone well, wishing everyone a sense of peace, sending love from the heart. Like just say, I send love and light. And that means divine love and light. It doesn't have to come from your personal emotional field. I don't personally, as a human being, love Donald Trump. I don't. My physical being, my ego structure does not love Donald Trump. But as a channel of divine love, as a being of divine love who is ascending, as a being of light who is a light worker trying to share light, I can take that divine light and run that through me and wish all well, wish everyone well. Donald and his whole administration and all the Republicans, I can wish them all well. We want them to heal, right? Don't we want them to heal? Really, deep down, we want everyone to heal. We want everyone to be at peace. Our inner longing as humans, as spiritual beings in a human body, is unification, is oneness, is a world full of people that are happy and kind and mutually respectful. That's what we want. It needs to start with the light workers. It needs to start with the people that have the ability to step aside from their egoic structure for a minute, download some divine or universal love, and send it out. That's my job. And if you're a light worker, I would ask that you consider this. I would ask that you consider it. And if it doesn't feel true for you, I love you anyway. You can differ with me. You can feel and see things differently. And that's okay with me. I love you anyway. I love you anyway. And one last note. I would like to acknowledge anger as a motivator for some people, anger as an agent of change for some people. Some people who are angry are using that energy to push their belief, not their beliefs, but yeah, their beliefs, the things that they feel are true, forward, and they're using that anger constructively, not as personal attacks, and not making snarky remarks and putting everyone down, but doing activism or starting petitions or writing letters to lawmakers and legislators or whatever, or writing opinion pieces in the local newspapers or whatever. Everyone has a right to their opinion, and everyone has a right to express it, no matter what it is. I hope and pray and intend to send out light and love with my opinions. If I'm asked what my opinions are, I want to be in a state of compassionate detachment so that I can say what I feel without hurting anybody else. And we can do that. We can do that. Say what we feel, mean what we say, and don't say it mean. Another Al-Anon gem. Thank you, Al-Anon. Can you tell I spent some time in Al-Anon? So this week marks 31 years of a continuous sobriety for me. And it's been quite a week. And I don't know why I told you that. It just came out because I mentioned Al-Anon. I thought I'd mention that I'm also clean and sober. So not that that's here nor there, because you know what? I admire people that can have a drink now and then. I look at them and I go, that looks nice. That looks nice after a glass of wine. Drunkenness isn't attractive to me, but having a nice glass of wine or a little drink, that sounds really good, but I just don't. Anyway, I want to send you love. And if you've acted out of alignment in any fashion, let it go. You're human. You're okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're spiritual beings working in a human, limited, polarized situation. It's going to happen. Let it go. Be okay with yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself when you're in alignment. Love yourself when you're not in alignment. And love others when they're in alignment and when they're not in alignment. And be real. Be authentic. Set boundaries if you need to. Keep yourself safe. And I'm going to end with this. I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe if it feels right to you, and leave a comment. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know the people that listen to my videos. I dearly appreciate all of you who have sent me emails and commented on my videos. I'd like to know the direction that I'm going in is landing, or not landing. Or I just like opinions, or anything that you have to say is always helpful. And say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. Oh, it's so nice to be in the frame of mind that I'm in now after the weekend I had. Email me if you would like my Empath article, and if you would like to be on my email newsletter. So if you email me, you get on my newsletter and you get an Empath article. And I'm quite sure the next video will be about raging empaths. That is on my agenda. This one was still about empaths, but I had to go off on my own little tangent. Sending you light and love and compassion and all that is good, abundance, peace, justice, fairness, equality, love, 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 love. Have a good night, a good day. I bless you, and I look forward to hearing from you. I'll leave my contact information below. Namaste.